Hi folks, how you all doing? My name is Lawrence Mann and this is LAWRENCEcanDRAW. Today we're going to be looking at the Surface Book 2 and I'm going to be using Sketchable, which is an application available for Windows in the Windows Store. So we're going to be drawing a guitar and it's nice and simple. You can follow this along if you'd like in any application you want. Sketchable has a few tools though that are going to make this very nice and easy for us. So first of all, we're just using base colors to kind of lay this down. I've speeded this up a bit. All in all, I think this took about an hour and a half. I could have done this a bit quicker. It is just a sketch though. If you want to do this, if I'd have wanted to do this, you know, kind of fully and really detailed, I could have spent about 3 or 4 hours on this to get it kind of absolutely perfect. But I'm starting off just by getting the kind of main blocks of color down. You know, a lot of my artwork I do in black and white first of all, but because this is just a sketch, yeah, I'm going through just in colour at first. Now I used to play guitar, but that was many years ago. I mean, I haven't touched guitar in like 15 years, so, but I still know what a guitar looks like, and this kind of looked like the guitar I used to have, and I kind of took that guitar apart like many times, so yeah, I'm kind of really familiar with how that guitar looked. So I can do pretty much this from memory. So yeah, a lot of this I'm going to do on different layers because I started doing this in blocks of color. It's good to do this all on different layers. That way, you know, I can go and put in this burst of orange light and get that kind of really nice sunburst guitar color in there. You know, I can't even remember the individual names of the pieces of the guitar, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you're drawing it. But yeah, you know, I remember all the details and facets of what these individual pieces look like. Sketchable has a nice color picker to it, so that's really good. And I can just keep swapping out my my brush sizes there as well. And I'm just using the standard airbrush tool. The markers and everything else are great, but I'm just going back and forth and trying to work as quickly as possible to get in as much detail. Really, I'm just going ahead and using a big brush and making the brush smaller and smaller and smaller as I go along. There's no real secret to it. I'm just refining the detail as I work. Color picking from little bits, but color picking tends to take more time away, I find, from, you know, it's easier to just make up a new color rather than color pick. So, but I want this to be as accurate as possible, even though it's a sketch. So yeah, I'm just refining detail. The hardest bit of this is going to be this neck though, you know, getting the fretboard correct and things like that. So I'm pretty much going to leave that to last. The headstock, yeah, that's going to be tough too, but we'll come back to that. The pickups here, they should be fairly easy. I just have to get that lovely metallic look, and some of that is going to come off by picking the colours from the surrounding wood. And I've kind of stabbed myself in the back by going for that nice sunburst orange colour. I could have gone for a nice flat colour, maybe given it hints of a gloss, but yeah, the sunburst orange is nice. You notice I've already added a bit of colour to that switch there. But now, because I've blocked in that colour, I really have to just go and refine edges. And I can do that with the highlights that I'm adding here. You know, I don't have to refine every edge as I go, I just have to do it with other highlights that I know I'm going to add in. And again, just these details that I'm adding in, the buckle pieces. Like I said, I can't even remember the full names of individual pieces, but things like that are really going to make the sketch come to life and stop it looking so much like a sketch. So, but it's the difference between it looking like just a rough sketch and looking more like almost a finished piece and not just a sketch. Sketchable has a nice free transform tool. It's not a full free transform tool, but it's good enough to just allow me to make rough, you know, rough adjustments to my work. Now, working on the Surface Book 2 is it's got that gloss screen, which I've never been a giant fan of, and I said that in my review. But when you are working like this, it's not a killer. It's not going to stop you from using the tablet. I do wish they put a matte screen version out there, but you can get a matte screen protector if you want one. Now, I haven't got one here, and you can see it's not really affecting me. I think if you have got the ability to change the lighting dynamics in your room, then definitely do that. I might get a matte screen protector and kind of do that on my Surface Book, just to show you guys if it works, because I don't know fully myself. I've never done it, but I might do that. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see that. Now we're going to do the fretboard here, and yeah, I will point out right now that I have to have a few goes at this, a few attempts, and I'm a professional illustrator, but even I have to have a few goes at this, because realistically this is a maths problem. So don't be afraid to have a couple of goes at this. And you saw me there, I used the free transform tool. I tried my first attempt as just a rough, so I turned the opacity down on that and then had another go on a different layer above it. Don't just go with your first attempt. There's nothing wrong with trial and error and getting it right, because that is going to be the difference between a good illustration and a bad illustration, and you don't want the rest of the work there just to go to waste. If you're going to go to the bother of getting a really good device, then you want to put the time and effort in on that illustration. Now, the brush you just saw me use there is one of Sketchable's nice little built-in brushes. That's not a custom brush that I bought in, that's one that just exists in Sketchable, and I'm just adding that in on top of a separate layer there, just to give that gloss finish, just an extra bit of texture. I use that on a lot of images that I create in Sketchable, and then I'm just using the eraser brush just to get rid of the bits that I don't want, and that makes it really nice. Yeah. Now I'm using Sketchable's ruler tool just to help me draw the actual strings rather than doing it freehand, so that the strings are really nice, clean and straight. It's a bit fiddly, but it's a lot easier than trying to draw straight strings freehand, and that really stops this from looking like a bad sketch. I hope you've enjoyed that. That allows me to just sign this off, and I'm happy with that. I can pass this along to a friend, a client. If this was a finished job for a client, I could send that along for approval, and if they liked it, I could finish it.